been found to be in violation of several civil disobedience bylaws.
Boom! We're supposed to be living in the freest country.
Right.
Amplifying social unrest.
Inciting violence.
Yes. He's a threat to world safety. What does that sound like?
The coronavirus. Coming up next, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian.
For all my life, but do not think for a second that I will not fight against it.
That's why you're here. That's why you will never leave here.
You think you can stop me? You really think you can stop me? It's been me against the world since I was old enough to think.
War, famine, natural disaster. The world has fought it all and won. The world is undefeated. We are undefeated. One man will not change that.
One man will not change that. It's true. But everybody has to stand up.
Exactly.
So I've got a couple quotes here. So one, it's been attributed to Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And you can read the rest of that. And then Albert Einstein. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. It's the same quote, two different quotes, the same message. Yeah. And those of you who've watched this trailer already, you're going to see he kind of answers these quotes.
Yes.
And those videos. But these are so important. Please put those two quotes on your timelines of your social media.
Right.
You see, that's where you screwed up. They say with great power comes great responsibility. You know what else comes with great power? Ignorance. Careless mistakes. The ability to vastly underestimate the people who you have power over. And I am not alone. You can lock me up, you can hide me away, you can shoot me down like a dog in the street, but I promise you, you cannot kill me. My word, my message, my vision, my spirit will live on through Hangover Gang forever. And you know what? I guess you're not the only one making mistakes. Because when I said it was me against the world, I was mistaken. It's not me against the world. It's us against the world. But to answer your question, not guilty.
Can you back it up a little bit?
Yeah, what do you need?
The album part. Because I saw these two albums, and I look, if you, I'm sure most of you know this already, the Us Against the World, look at the Us. Looks like a 45, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh.
A little subliminal message there.
That's a good catch, man. I didn't notice that.
Looks like a 45.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Us against the world. We just need someone like 45 to lead. Not necessarily 45 again.
No. And again, and I think the whole thing of what Tom's saying is it's not one person. He's saying it's not me. It's the message that he's putting out there, and collectively. And in the case of Tom MacDonald, it's the Hangover Gang. But in the case of the people who think, that hold the beliefs that we believe, individual liberties,
right,
the original, freedoms that we had, those are the people that need to stand up, who are not standing up right now.
Yes.
And we've seen that again. The ones when you got the Proud Boys against the Antifa, and you got those two fringe groups fighting each other. But what about the mainstream, the people who just want to fight for liberties, and who are just going to get the jab just to go along to get along?
Right. Exactly.
And that's who's not fighting. And like those quotes I put up before, I mean, that's all it takes for the one world order to take over, is for everybody to just sit and keep thinking, nah, it's not going to be that bad. It's
right.
not going to be that bad. Oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah, Brian brought up a key word there, independence, and we all know that Tom and Nova, they're independent artists. But so we need to go out there and support them. If you haven't bought these albums yet, get out there and buy them, support them, keep the independent thing going. But I love the message. If this was a trailer for a movie, I would spend the money to go see this movie, because this is it grabs you, it gets the blood going, it's anticipation. You're thinking, yeah, I want to see this, and now I want to hear it. I guess there's a few songs we haven't heard before on that.
Yeah.
You guys need to leave in the comments section if you guys want to review those songs, because I was telling Brian yesterday at the wineries, are we becoming a reaction channel?
I think we do both. So, and it's not, and again, don't get honest, we're not a reaction channel. We review things. We like to take apart the things that he says. And when, speaking of things that he said, it doesn't matter if he raps or acts. So this is more of an acting thing. The message is loud and clear, whether he's doing it to music or whether now he's doing it like a theatrical trailer. He's giving a message, and luckily we see by all of you who watch our channel and watch Tom and comment, that's your way of getting in the fight.
Right.
But I hope it doesn't stop there, because we notice some people, they're in the fight with the Tom songs, but then they said, but I ended up getting the jab even though I didn't want to. And if you want to, get the jab. But if you say, I got the jab even though I didn't want to, then what are you doing? I mean, I have no fault for people that wanted to get the jab. That's fine. If you're in a category where you think it's safer to get the jab, get the jab. But if you use that language, I got the jab even though I didn't want to.
Right.
I gave in to that mob even though I didn't want to. So, I mean, his whole message here is collectively we need to fight. And I don't mean go riot or anything like that. We need to make our voices heard. That's partly why we morphed into this channel, where we went from two guys talking about toilet paper hanging over or under to guys talking about what's going on in this country, in the world, but specifically we're in the United States of America. What is happening to the country that we grew up in?
Right. Yeah.
So,
I'll let Brian end up here. I just want to issue a challenge to all of you. I'm not talking to just the Hog fans, although I know many of you are watching this right now, and we appreciate that. Along with the independents, you can support us by getting your Cedric and Brian hats.
right.
But we need brave men and women to stand in the gap. Just like Brian said, and to reiterate what Tom is saying, we can't just give in. If your employer is pushing you, you have options. They're trying to make you believe that you don't have options. You have options to fight that and not lose your job over getting the jab. And secondly, for those of you who are parents, and like me, I'm getting close to the grandparent age, but my kids have to get married first. In about 10, 15 years, when your kids, when your grandkids look at you and say, hey, all that stuff that was going on in 2021, what did you do? I don't want you to be that person that says, nah, I didn't do anything. Like this YouTube channel that Brian and I do, it's a very small thing. It's our way of fighting. Do something. Do not be silent. Don't give in. Don't cower to the masses like Brian is saying. Stand in the gap and fight. Not necessarily with fists, not necessarily with guns. If it comes to that, it comes to that. But we're talking about just hold steady, stand your ground, like Mel Gibson said in Braveheart, hold. You have to hold the line. We have to hold the line.
And this segues good into the comment that we're going to do today, because Cedric, I mean, I know you hogs out there, you guys give me a hard time. The hashtag Brian is wrong that he instigates. That's fun stuff. I mean, I laugh at it. It's fun. He gets real hate. Bring that comment up. Cedric, this is obviously directed towards Cedric, and it sucks that he has to take it. Luckily, he does this. He brushes it off. But this is what they do.
What was it? This was
There was two of them by the same person.
Same person on the same song. We did a review of
Aaron Lewis.
Aaron Lewis.
Am I the only one? Or I'm not
Yes.
the only one.
And this person just came out with a lot of. And if you watch that review, I thought we did a good job of it. It was right down the middle of the road, and we just addressed it. But anyway, this person says, he starts off with, alcoholics. Weeping because of the remorse of Confederate slave supporting statues. It's a shame such a talented musician has turned basically into racist scum piece of S. Covered with prison-like art. Aaron Lewis is the one acting un-American. God bless Joe Biden. That last line, I will say something. I will always support the office of the presidency. I will always support that. But as Americans, we have a right. it's a privilege and a right to speak out against things that we don't like.
Well, it's funny because obviously we like the song, so he didn't call Cedric a racist, but he did call Aaron Lewis a racist, because you can throw that racist at white people out there. But then they did call, in the next comment, they did call Cedric something here.
Same person. And they like to yell because they use exclamation points a lot. Oreo. That's me because I'm black on the outside, white on the inside. Supporting the keeping of Confederate slave supporting statues. This is the nightmare twilight zone you've created. Bum, 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 bum.
So he doesn't like history, apparently.
Right. And that song was just all about America. And that song, whether you are black or white or Hispanic or Asian or man or woman, whatever you may be, that just spoke to Americans. But this person, I'm going to assume is on the left, not a liberal, but on the left, is saying, you're a sellout, you're a coon, you're Uncle Tom. I'm like, no, I'm an American. I got my Americans, we're trying to get through this. I got my American swim trunks now because we're going to go hop in the pool and barbecue later on. But I am so proud of this country. Do we need to be fixed? I've said it time and time again. Do we have flaws? Absolutely. But in my opinion, we are still the best damn thing going on. And it's a damn shame that other people can't see that. And we have someone like Tom, who is a Canadian, has come over here, just like a bunch of the people from Cuba did. They've come over here and they see all the incredible things we have, and they want to be a part of it. But we're like, a lot of us are like the fish that are in the water. We don't know we're wet. We don't know what we have access to. And so we gripe against it and we fight against it.
And it's easy because leftists, and I'm going to say this again, not liberals. Remember, Berkeley had liberals in the 60s. They fought for freedom of speech. Leftists now want utopia. They think you can have utopia on Earth. Obviously, we know because the Earth is full of flawed men and women. So you cannot have utopia. So if something doesn't raise to perfection, then they tear it down. They don't realize that incrementally we get better and better. And they don't study history.
Right.
So they look at history and they know 5 minutes ago. But and what's funny is because for all the LGBTQ plus people out there, Obama's the one who didn't want gay marriage, but he's their president, right? Trump did want gay marriage. He had no problem with it. He's not their president. So they both piss off people on both sides. But again, go back in history. So slavery is a big thing now because with the Black Lives Matter and everything, it's like, you need reparations. We need people to get equality of outcome because of past transgressions. Well, guess what? My people, speaking of Jews, we were enslaved by darker skinned people for a very long time. You know what? That's history. We learn from it. There's people that are still enslaved now in Africa, in the Middle East. Nobody seems to care about that. We're going to go back to the flaws and the warts of the United States, which there are, and we know about those, and they're only going to focus on those. And now, how many years later, we're still using that, and like Cedric and I talk about, and our man Larry Elder, they're victims. He calls them victocrats. Mm-hmm. You're going to say that you're not getting a leg up because of what happened then. Okay? Yes, incrementally it gets better, but again, they are not the only ones that have been enslaved through history. They're the most recent history here in this country. It's still happening in other countries. And how come it is that people with the melanin of Cedric are coming over from Nigeria and being the most successful? If it's systemic racism, then I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
We should wrap this up.
I know.
We're going to rant. You get on your rant.
I know. I'm a ranter.
I like to rant. I got to make one correction to what you said.
Okay.
You said Black Lives Matter. Black Lives
still matter.
That's the new logo now.
Right. And then
don't forget that.
When that one runs out and they need to trademark something else, what's it going to be?
Right.
Black Lives Matter again.
Again, yes.
When the next election cycle comes up, Black Lives Matter
2.0.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I get a lot of joy and pleasure looking at some of Tom's stuff. He's right-minded thinking. We love that stuff. But make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell, and please share our videos with everyone you know. And we appreciate all of you who are new to our channel. We've been getting a lot of that coming in lately. We appreciate it. That's awesome. So in the meantime, continue being good to each other. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. We'll see you later.